African countries want more money and a better system of tracking it as they tackle the fallout of a warming planet. That's the message from Africa's lead climate negotiator ahead of the COP26 conference starting at the end of the month. In an interview, Tongi Gahuma said countries are failing to hit a $100 billion annual target promised by wealthier nations more than a decade ago. The latest OECD data suggests the funding hit $79.6 billion in 2019, just 2% higher than the year before.
We need to have a clear view, clear roadmap, how they will put on the table the 100 billion per year, how we can track the 100 billion per year. And without that, the COP26 will not be a success for Africa.
That position highlights tensions ahead of COP26 in the UK's Glasgow. The world's 20 richest nations are responsible for 80% of greenhouse gas emissions. But it's developing countries that bear the brunt.
If we prove that someone is responsible for something, it's responsibility to pay for that, to find a solution for that. And this is the basis of the negotiation.
The continent's precarious position was outlined in a stark report from the World Meteorological Organization on Tuesday. It warned that 118 million extremely poor people, that's those living on less than $1.90 a day, will be exposed to drought, floods and extreme heat by 2030 if an adequate response is not put in place. The continent's fabled glaciers will disappear in 2 decades, the report warned, and climate change could shave up to 3% of Africa's GDP by the middle of the century. Such dire predictions are why Gahuma says African countries are pushing for funding to be scaled up to more than $1 trillion, even though wealthier nations are missing their current target.
The 100 billion was a political commitment. It was not based on the real needs of a developing country to tackle climate change. So the first assessment that we made as African group is that we need 10 times more than the 100 billion. So we are close to 1.3, to 1.2, and this will be maybe the real cost.
And the impact of climate change is already being felt. The WMO report said 2020 was Africa's 3rd warmest year on record. Drought, on a continent that is heavily reliant on agriculture, has been worsening. East and West Africa suffered extensive flooding last year, and a locust infestation of historic proportions wreaks havoc. That's why, as Gahuma prepares to head to the COP26 negotiating table, he has one more message for global powers. We have no time to lose.